Hey there, guys. Alright, today we are back with some more geography. Now, this time we're on to Guinea. Before we dive in, though, make sure you go and check out the links in the description box below. I would love it if you joined the Discord and followed me over at Twitch. Not gonna waste any more time. Let's just dive right into Guinea.
Okay, I promise I'm gonna try really hard not to make any distasteful Ebola jokes in this one, but yeah. I'm just saying this place kind of wins the gold medal for things that freaked out the entire world in 2014.
Yeah.
It's time to learn geography
now! Hey everyone, I'm your host Barbie. These next two episodes are going to cover the fraternal Guinea twins, Guinea and Guinea-Bissau, separated at childhood between France and Portugal. These are like the two top least visited countries in Africa. However, that doesn't mean I'm taking you into the pits of despair. In fact, if you're a travel hipster or tripster, you might want to start looking into flights because I guarantee you will have like the whole place to yourself.
Boom.
So first of all, the name. As you know, there are a lot of countries that have the name Guinea in them. I mean, there's Papua New Guinea, there's Guinea-Bissau, there's Equatorial Guinea. So where did the name come from? Well, scholars speculate that it probably came from the...
Dude, I love that shade of blue. That is the best shade of blue. Perfect blue.
Berber word Agina, which means black, or land of the black people, referring to the people south of the Sahel region. Mystery most likely solved. Now let's go to the map animation. Guinea is located in West Africa, bordered by 6 other countries with a modestly sized coast along the Atlantic Ocean. The country is divided into 8 regions with the capital Conakry, one of the rainiest capitals in the world, which holds about a quarter of the entire country's population.
Damn.
Conakry is ranked as a special region or zone located off the coast. Speaking of which, the shape of the country kind of looks like a skinny horse head dying of thirst. If you look
You know what? I see it, but I don't know where the hell you got dying of thirst from. I see the horse head. Seeing the horse head.
Skinny horse head dying of thirst. If you look close, Conakry is built on a narrow peninsula less than a mile or 1.6 kilometers in width at some points, and also looks like an aardvark ready to eat 2
Really, Barbie? An fucking aardvark?
worms and a fly. These little guys are actually an extinct volcano known as the Ile de Lo Islands just off the coast and a short ferry ride away from the capital. They were used during the slave trade and they held a prison on Rome Island. They're also the inspiration for Robert Louis Stevenson's Treasure Island. Today they're kind of like the Hawaii of Guinea with public beaches and bars all over. The largest airports are of course found in the largest cities, Conakry with Conakry International, and the second largest city in Nzerekore. Most of Guinea's borders are composed of rivers and small creeks.
I can't unsee the horse head now.
The only dispute they have is with the Ivory Coast over a small town called Kapeaba. Otherwise, they kind of have a Mount Roraima scenario going on, like in South America, with a tri-point border on the famous mountain Mount Nimba located in the south. Now here's the thing, Guinea has a relatively weak transport infrastructure, or infrastructure in general. However, they did manage to build an entire railway about 660 kilometers that goes all the way from Conakry to Kankan in the interior. Otherwise, most cars are over 20 years old and virtually anybody with a 4-door car can be a self-franchised taxi driver.
It's like an unauthorized African Uber.
Yeah, kind of is. Otherwise, top sites in the country might include places like the Conakry Grand Mosque, Cape Verga has the best beaches, of course the Ile de Lo, the Fouta Jalon Plateau with Dam Mali, a cliff that looks like a woman, the historic hotel SIB, the markets of Nzerekore, and the military base at Kindia. Now let's just address the elephant in the room. Yes, Guinea is kind of where the whole 2014 Ebola outbreak started. Long story short, things got a little out of hand, but in 2016, the World Health Organization terminated their concern status over the area, as most of the cases have been contained, and trial vaccines are going on right now. The whole deal pretty
God, I remember that. Fuck, I was a freshman in high school or starting sophomore year. Depending on when this... I can't remember exactly what part of the year it started. But I fucking remember that.
pretty much ruined whatever was left of the already destitute tourism industry in the country. Guinea usually ranks in the top 10 least visited countries worldwide. This is both good and bad. Bad because there's a whole beautiful, untouched, lush domain of natural beauty just beyond the coast that will never get recognized. Good because if you come here, you will have that whole lush domain to yourself with no annoying tourists blocking your way. So you know how
However, if there's less tourism, I feel like that could also mean there are less protections for tourists, you know? Like, yeah, gold mine of things to visit without having to deal with other tourists. That's great. However, you'll stand out as a tourist. And that could be bad. Anywhere you go, right? Um, so give and a take there. Give and a take.
Every West African country kind of has a name or nickname for their coasts, like the Ivory Coast, and Ghana is the Gold Coast, Liberia is the Pepper Coast. Well, get ready because we're heading out to the Aluminum Coast. First of all, Guinea is divided into 4...
Hear that, Britain? It's aluminum. Aluminum. Not aluminium. Stupid. Ugh. It felt wrong to even say it that way. Ugh.
main landform regions: the Basse-Côte, or the coastal lowlands, the Moyenne, or Middle Guinea, the Haute, or High Guinea eastern savanna areas, and the forested jungle in the far southeast. The coasts are made of mostly mangrove swamps and rivers with a few nice beaches and tidal estuaries, great for farming. The inland middle part is arguably the most beautiful, with the Fouta Highlands, also referred to as the Water Tower of Guinea. This is kind of like the source of some of the major rivers of Africa, like the Gambia, the Senegal, and the longest one in the country, the Niger River. These three rivers alone supply water to nearly 200 million people across 7 countries in West Africa, and it all begins here. So, yeah.
Really? I have all that much power? Is there anybody I can embargo?
Nope, all your neighbors are your friends.
Ugh, why do I gotta be so regionally diplomatic?
The Haute or High Guinea area is the driest area made up of drier but still lush savannas and grasslands, home to a lot of historic sites. And the final forest region is the lush green interior, where you don't just find jungles but some of the largest mineral mines, like the Simnadu and Nimba mines close to Nzerekore. Speaking of which, of course, like other African states, Guinea is rich in mineral resources like iron, diamonds, gold, and silver. However, they are mostly known for having the world's largest bauxite or aluminum ore reserves, topping off somewhere around 7.5 billion metric tons, or around 27% of the world's entire supply. This alone makes up about 17% of their GDP and over 50% of their exports. The highest point is shared with the Ivory Coast, Mount Richard Mollard, part of the Nimba mountain chain.
What kind of fucking name? That is such a fucking colonizer. Mount Richard Mollard. That's a fucking stupid name. That's a stupid name. No. Get that shit out. Yeah.
A UNESCO heritage site. Tons of animals can be found throughout the country, like bongos, zebras, the adorable pygmy hippos, river hogs, ball pythons, white-necked rockfowl, and an overabundance of primates. Although it's not official, some people might say that the Guinea baboon might be considered the national animal. Because Guinea lies right at the base of the Sahel,
man, I really cannot unsee the horse head.
In the safe green belt of West Africa, Guinea is one of the rainiest places on Earth. On average, they get about 400 centimeters of rain a year. Conakry gets flooded all the time, and the people are just used to it, going about their business without even batting an eye. Otherwise, tapalapa bread is popular, with futi, which is oil rice with okra. And that's about it. Time to move on. People stuffs. Man, Guinea just does not get a break. I mean, assassination attempts, coups d'etats, tribal conflict, failed socialism, a 2-year junta, mass paranoia, and general instability has caused a lot of trouble.
And Ebola.
Yeah, but that's kind of like contained now.
Too late. The damage would last forever.
First of all, the country has about 12 million people, and over 40% of the country is under 15 years old. The country is divided into about 24 main ethnic groups, the largest ones being the Fulani or the Fula at about 42%, the Mandinka at about 31%, the Susu at 13%, and the remainder 17% comprised of other small groups like communities of white residents, mostly French. Also, they use the Guinean franc as their currency, they use the type C, F, and K outlets, and they drive on the right side.
You already know what I'm about to say. Gotta keep the bit rolling every single time. You hear that, Britain and other wrong countries? It's the right side of the road. Right means right. Right means correct. Left is wrong. Okay? Okay? Right side of the road. The right way to drive. Okay?
Of the road. Now, like we mentioned, Guinea kind of has 4 physical regions. However, each of these regions also kind of houses a major ethnic group. The coast is mostly home to the Susu people, known for being great carpenters and leather workers, as well as the Baga people, one of the last remaining animist tribes of West Africa who wear headdresses and perform Nimba dances. The middle region is predominantly home to the Peul or Fulani people, known for being great businessmen, and it's also the historic center of Islamic culture and learning. The High Guinea region houses most of the Mandinka population, descended from the Mali kingdom, which tie in closely with other Mandinkas we already talked about in the Gambia and Burkina Faso episodes. Did we talk about them in the Benin episode? No, we didn't. Okay. No, I thought we did. No, okay. Otherwise, the forest...
Don't ask me, I don't remember shit.
Region is where all the rest of the tribes and ethnic groups are found. About 84% of the country is Muslim, about 11% is Christian, and the rest adheres to indigenous African beliefs. Now, when it comes to their history, let's just say Guinea kind of bit off more than they could chew. Basically, before the French came in, parts and sections of what is now Guinea were subject to the Ghana Empire, the Soso Kingdom, the Mali Empire, the Songhai, and then there was this weird time where the Moroccans came in for some reason, but they couldn't conquer them. Then multiple kingdoms were established, like the Wassalu, and then in the late 1800s, France was like, yoink, and then in 1958, Charles de Gaulle was like, okay, I'll give you colonies a choice. Do you want further autonomy with French support or immediate independence? We'll play it safe. Nope, I'm out. And that's when Guinea became the only former colony to choose full independence. And that's when 24 years of this guy happened. The Portuguese came in and tried to assassinate him. He died after an operation. This guy took over. There was a coup and then a junta led by this guy. And then the first free, fair election happened in 2010 and Condé became president. And let's not even get into him.
Didn't people try to assassinate him?
Yeah, just they get it. My subscribers are smart, they can figure it out. We've gone over this many times. Guinea has a strong griot culture, or people who do storytelling and musical poetry. Typically, you can find them accompanied with koras and balafons, or the wooden African xylophones. By the way, it's believed that the very first one that was created is called the Soso Bala, and it's found in the town of Niagasola, and it's protected by the Batigi, or the patriarch of the Dokala family. It's kind of like the holy grail of Guinea. Now, French is the official language of the government and cross-cultural communication. However, most people speak their own tribal languages first. Otherwise, some notable Guinean people might include soccer player Abubakar Siddiqui Kamar, author Kamara Lay, Ahmed Scouture, Black M and MHD, and Paul Pogba. The people of Guinea are quite unique, and so is their diplomacy. Which brings us to... Guinea once again has had it pretty rough, but they've had a few others walk alongside them in the times of tribulation.
Rough, buddy.
First of all, they have a complicated relationship with France. I mean, yes, they opted out first with the whole independence thing, but they still work with each other, and the French make the largest group of barely existent tourists. Even President Hollande and Condé were friends in childhood. Now, Russia kept their eye on Guinea and immediately cozied up with socialist-leaning President Touré. To this day, Russians even have a mining contract with Guinea, and small businesses always going on. Then you have Guinea's English twin cousins, Sierra Leone and Liberia. If you ask a Fulani, they will probably say they get along better with Sierra Leone, and Mandinkas will probably say Liberia. During war times, many Liberians and Sierra Leoneans came and fled to Guinea as refugees and still live there to this day. Now, have you ever known a kid who has had like one conversation with you and immediately calls you their best friend? Yeah, that's kind of
Sure.
like how Guinea is with Morocco and Ivory Coast. They love these guys and admire them. Many Guineans go abroad and study in their schools and obsess over their celebrities. However, Morocco and Ivory Coast are kind of like, oh, cool, thanks for your appreciation. But then they go off and hang out with their other friends, forgetting Guinea like a little puppy in the alley. Aw, Guinea.
You didn't have to make that comparison, Barbie. What the fuck?
It's okay. You's a strong, independent black nation. Y'all don't need no man. In conclusion, Guinea is kind of like the everything possibly could go wrong country, and yet it's a rare gem that has yet to be commercially exploited. So if you want to get away from all that selfie stick cattle call culture, come to Guinea. Stay tuned. Guinea-Bissau is coming up next.
And that was Geography Now, Guinea. This felt like a slower episode. Yeah, I don't know. It wasn't as exciting, thrilling. It was still decent. Flowed well. Probably not gonna really have many complaints on Geography Now videos from this point on, because it seems like the audio is finally being consistently balanced between their transition scenes and then just Barbie's audio himself. So thank God for that. And I think they've figured out how they want to tell the stories of these nations and whatnot. So they have scripts down. So now it's just kind of like perhaps down to my own personal interest in a country will determine how much I enjoy the video. I'll see if my consensus there changes as we go on. But that was Geography Now Guinea. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to hit that like button and subscribe for more. And I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.